So the first topic I'm going to talk about is that a new trailer came out for the Ballerina from the Widow John Wick. Now, I've been really excited for this movie. I love the first trailer. I love the John Wick movies. And I think the main actress, I think she's a great actress. She was in movies Knives Out, which I love. She was in Blade Runner 2049, which I love. She was in a movie called War Dogs with Mills Taylor, which I highly recommend people go check out, which I thought was a great movie. But I think she's just a great actress. And I know she was like in the last James Bond movie in a small role, which I didn't see that one. I think it was called No Time to Die, but I heard she was really good in that. So I think she's just a great actress. And I think this was a great trailer. To me, the first trailer was great. I thought this was another great trailer for this movie. Like the accent looks great. Like I know they brought in the director of the John Wick movies to spice up the accent because they have a different director for this movie. Just they just brought him in for the accent scenes. So the accent to me looks great in the trailer for this. Like I love the accent with the flamethrower. I think that's really cool. And this is the accent to me looks like it fits in white with the style of the John Wick movies. And I'm definitely really curious to like see a John Wick movie, like in the world of John Wick when it comes to focusing on like a different assassin character. Because like I said, I think she's a great actress. And there's just a lot of like there's some really good shots in the trailer. You see one shot where she's like shedding tears, and I'm talking about the spirit of I can't remember what it was called in the trailer, but saying how the spirit is like it could be for darkness. Somebody's like darkness in the heart, or it could be a protector, and her having to make that choice. I think there's some really interesting backstory to this trailer. It's kind of showing you a little bit of, and the idea, like I'm saying, this is a fate. It's just I think she's gonna be great in this movie, and I'm just this trailer really made me curious about her character and like to find out more about how like the fact you hear a line of trailer and the guy will tell you goes like you want to be cast out again also makes me really curious. Like she was cast out before, so I'm like again this I think this trailer does a great job making me really curious about her backstory and want to know more about this character. The big thing in this trailer is that you see John Wick, and I didn't expect this. We saw him in the first trailer, so we know he was going to be in this movie. With the fact this takes place during the events of John Wick 3, but before the events of John Wick 4. And the first trailer, it made it seem like they were going to be allies. In this trailer, he's being sent. He's the one being sent to kill, which wasn't expecting that. Like I'm really curious how they're going to have John Wick be kind of like the antagonist with the bad guy who's chasing him in this movie. He's chasing the main character because that's definitely interesting, like dressing for his character in this movie, where he's when you watch John Wick movies, even though he's killing people, he's all like you feel like he's always on the right side. So I'm definitely curious, like not like he doesn't come off like a bad guy in the show, but I'm curious like how that's gonna go with him, one set to kill her, and if they're gonna like by the end of the movie, are they gonna team up, or is he gonna be like is he gonna be like an antagonist through the whole movie? Like I'm definitely curious how they're gonna go with that because I wasn't expecting him to be kind of like an enemy of her in this movie. I thought they would like be more allies, like in the first show, was kind of hinting at. So that's definitely even made me more curious. But overall, I think this is a fantastic trailer. Like I said, cannot wait for the Ballerina. One of my most anticipated movies of the year. Next topic I want to talk about, so leaked fight footage from the Batgirl movie got released. And this made fans wondering, could this movie see the light of day? Because you have the whole Coyote, Acme, then where that movie, Warner Bros. Is selling that movie, and that movie was written as a tax off, and now there's a possibility that movie could be saved. And when it comes to the Batgirl movie, do I think this movie could be saved? That some distributor will like get the movie. Like I know Panty last report on the Batgirl movie before it was went in as task off that it was completely finished when nearly done the movie, I believe. Like I think this was from like an assistant who worked on the movie, which is it was literally like this is what the assistant said. It was literally completely finished, VFX and everything. So it sounds like the movie was done, and there is a like completed version of that movie, well at least a nearly completed version. Again, it's like the assistants from the report that was from a while ago. It sounds like the movie is completely done. But do I think the Batgirl movie could be saved? I do think if the Coyote Acme, if that movie ends up being saved and being sold and get released in theaters, I do think there's a slim chance that could maybe get the Batgirl movie saved. But at the same time, I think it's a slim chance. I like the. It's one of those things where it's like I'm not like I wouldn't bet on it. But I do think this opens up a slim chance that maybe more of us could sell the Batgirl to some distributor and it could see the light of day. Like maybe on a streaming service or something like that. Because, look, it sucked that movie got shoved when it was completely finished or nearly done. And I always feel bad when it happens to a movie that's like completely finished. Because a lot of people worked on that movie, and look, the photos for that movie didn't look great, and from what the test, because I think they had test screenings for that movie, or the director showed the movie for some people at the studio or something, and it sounds like the response wasn't good. But I can't really say because I never saw the movie. But I was excited with the fact that you have Michael Keaton in there as Batman. I do love the main actress. She was in a movie called In the Heights, which I think is a great movie. I thought she was great in that. So I think she is a great actress, and I was excited for Brendan Fraser to play Firefly, a villain in the movie. So if I don't think it will get saved. I don't think we're going to see a Batgirl movie, but I do think if the Coyote Acme thing actually happens and that movie does get saved, gets released in theaters, I do think that gives Batgirl a slim chance that maybe we could see that movie someday. Like you never know in the future. So it'd be great if the Batgirl movie gets saved. And, depending on what happens with the Coyote Acme thing, I do think that gives it a slim chance, but I wouldn't bet on it either. The next topic I want to talk about is that the Lilo and Sis trailer came out. I thought this was just a great trailer and a really cute trailer. Like, I just watched the Lilo and Sis, the first animated movie last year for the first time. I think that's a great animated movie. Like, I love the movie. I love the character Sis because I think it's just a really, like, fun, cute, and just like really just funny character in an anime movie where he's kind of like a troublemaker, but at the same time you feel bad for him. So it's just like I just love that anime movie. And this trailer I thought was great. I thought it captured everything that makes that anime movie great by seeing some new stuff in it. And I think what the trailer does a great job of is that it just felt like the trailer had a lot of heart to it. Like when I watched it, it just felt like it gave you a lot of heart, like the animated movie. And the little girl who's playing the kid, the younger sister in this in the live action version, she looks like she's perfect casting. Like, and there's just a lot of moments I thought was really funny in the trailer. Like they're doing the whole when he's like about to hose her with water, and he's like doing like a whole western thing where he has it down and he's like staring it down. I thought that was really funny, and there's just a lot of moments in the trailer I thought were just funny. Because to me, it's like the whole point. Like one thing I love about the Sis character in that movie was this: he's very like I said, he's a troublemaker, but he's still adorable, and you still like feel bad for him and love the character at the same time. So I think this trailer just did a great job of capturing the heart of that Lilo and Sis movie. So I cannot wait for this movie this year. The next thing I want to talk about is that Darren Aronofsky is going to be directing a Cujo live action remake for Netflix. Now, when it comes to the original Cujo movie, so I hope I'm saying the name in that way. It's one of those movies that I remember liking and thought it was a fun movie. It's not like in one of those movies that I love or anything. So if they did a Cujo remake, it's not something that would be like on my top of my list. I'd be really excited for. But I think the original Cujo movie is a fun movie. It's not like a movie I'm like, oh my god, I'm in love with. But Darren Aronofsky, I think, he's an interesting choice. Like he's definitely done a lot of interesting like movies when it comes to him being a choice to direct the Cujo remake. I will say this though, Panty is going to be on Netflix. That's the only thing I worry about is the fact that it's a Netflix movie. Like he's like Netflix, like I said, has been kind of more miss than hit. But Darren Aronofsky, I do think, is definitely an interesting choice to direct the Cujo remake. Even with the director choice, wouldn't be on my top of my list, but we'll see how it turns out. Like I said, I enjoyed the original Cujo movie. It's not one of my all-time favorite movies, but maybe it'll end up being one of those better remakes. And I think Darren Aronofsky, like I said, I think he's a very interesting choice to direct that. Like he says, where he is being looked at to direct it. So it's definitely an interesting choice. They're actually to direct the Cujo remake. The next thing I want to talk about is the Electronic State, which I will be putting up a review later on today about that movie. That movie cost 300, and the reason I just want to talk about the buzz for this movie is that is ridiculous. This is the most expensive Netflix movie, and this movie has not gotten good reviews. But I just cannot believe how much this movie cost Electronic State with Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Joe. Millie Bobby, the Stranger Thing actress. Millie Bobby, I'm forgetting the name of the actress. Millie Bobby Joe, I think that's her name. I believe the actress who played 11 in the show. Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown, excuse me. Millie Bobby Brown with her and Chris Pratt. This movie's been getting slammed. But the fact this movie cost 300 is like ridiculous. Like I watched the movie, I'm not gonna like go into my thoughts of it, but it was a movie where I'm just like, they really spent 300 on this movie. Like, I understand Netflix has spent like 200 on like movies like The Gray Man and stuff like this, but this is ridiculous. Like, I don't understand this when streaming movies don't make the type of money they do at the theaters. I just like, to me that's ridiculous. You spent 300 on this movie, so I thought that was just interesting. Like, this is definitely one of Netflix's like probably the biggest, honestly, biggest like bomb. Like, I don't know what the viewing numbers were for this. I don't even know how viewing numbers really work for like streaming services when it comes to movies and shows. But I feel like spending 300 on this, I feel like it's like way over what you need to spend on this movie. And I think this is definitely a big loss for Netflix and this asset for Netflix, in my opinion. The next thing I want to talk about is that Neil Blomkamp sounds like he's going to be directing a Starship Troopers like remake or reboot. From what I heard, it's going to be like it's not. From what I heard, it's not a sequel, but it's more of a like reimagining, but not a sequel to the original. And I love the original movie, the original Starship Troopers movie. It's like a great satire movie. I just love that movie. But yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a reboot or remake. And when it comes to Neil Blomkamp, him being the director to do a Starship Troopers remake / reboot, I'll say this about him as a choice. He's definitely done a lot of sci-fi stuff. I will say this about him though. This is what I mean by what I think is a good choice or not. Is that he's done 3 movies, and I love District 9. I thought his debut as a director was fantastic. Great movie, I highly recommend. His second movie with Matt Damon, I enjoyed that one, but I didn't love it. And Chappie, I hate it. I thought that movie was just terrible and god awful. So he's kind of gone with the 3 movies he's done so far. Like, he had a great debut, in my opinion. Is Elysium, which I'm pronouncing the name on, the Matt Damon sci-fi movie, I enjoyed, but I didn't think it was anywhere near as great as District 9. And Chappie, I just thought was awful. So it's kind of like I do have mixed feelings about him directing the Starship Troopers remake or reboot, because I love that original Starship Troopers movie. and his track record so far as a director is like he's made one great movie, and then the second movie I enjoyed but didn't love, and his last movie Chappie I wasn't a fan of. So he just, it's like I'm excited, but also I did lose a little faith in him as a director after those last two movies, where it's like I hope it's more in a District 9 quality if he's gonna do a Starship Troopers remake or reboot. Like I said, I love that original movie, and it's like one of those movies where I'm like, if you're gonna remake it, I hope they have something new and fresh to do with that franchise, because the Starship Troopers sequel sucked in my opinion. I like the second one or the third one, and to me, I know it was based on I believe the first one was based on a book, and from what I heard, it is different from the book. But I'm like he's an interesting choice, but I'm also a little concerned based on the fact his last two movies weren't great. So I just hope this ends up being a great remake, because like I said, I love the original Starship Troopers movie. The next thing I want to talk about is that John Wick 5 has been confirmed. Now, I have very mixed feelings about this news, because if you watch John Wick 4, well, it looks like his character died. Now, I know you could say maybe they left it a little open when it comes to whether his character really died at the end there. I felt like the way the movie wraps up, I feel like he died. Again, I see, I can understand people saying they left it a little open where, yeah, you know what, like like I could see where, yeah, they left it a little bit open there. But at the same time, it's just if you do a John Wick 5 and you bring his character back, I am concerned about that, because on one side, I love the John Wick movies. The quality of the movies have been great, and I loved all four of them. But I also feel like John Wick 4 is a great ending to John Wick's story in that movie, where he finally gets out and he gets to die and be with his wife. And I feel like if you undo that, like to me, if you're going to do a John Wick 5 with him, because I don't know how you do a John Wick 5 without his character, like otherwise, like you can't. I wouldn't call it John Wick 5 then, because you do need to have his character back if you're going to do a John Wick 5. But if you're going to bring his character back, I just hope they have a great story to tell. Because to me, he had a great ending to his character, and I just worry about undoing that and feeling like that you're just gonna bring him back, but you won't have like a really good story to tell or reason why to bring him back. So that's my concern. That's why I like mixed feelings about this news when it comes to John Wick 5 being confirmed. Like, in one way, I love the John Wick movies. The quality of those movies have been great. But there's the other side of me that if you're doing a John Wick 5 and you're planning on bringing Keanu Reeves' character back and undoing John Wick 4, I just, like, I understand they left it a little open at the end there, whether he is dead or not. At the same time, I feel like that's a great ending to his character. So I just hope they have a good story reason, a good reason if they're going to do a John Wick 5. Because you can't do it without his character. Like, to me, it shouldn't be called John Wick 5 if you're not going to do it without his character. So, John Wick 5 being confirmed is one of those things where I was like, I'm excited but also worried at the same time. So we'll see with it. So that's all the movie topics today. Until next time, movie fans.